Can we do a quick start over, redo why it's on film? Just to kind of get an idea?
Just so we have it.
All right, cool. So this is your Sphinx code. This is your archetypal blueprint. So the map of your psyche in the form of archetype. So a lot of the things that you think, a lot of processes and relationships, career, what you're doing, how you see yourself, where you're going. A lot of these things will all have different archetypes. Like Freud and a lot of these other psychologists would have...
like Carl Jung.
Yeah, the different archetypes, the hero's journey.
Yeah.
Right? In the tarot, it's the fool's journey.
Is there a magician in the tarot?
Yep. Number one is the magician. So it goes magician, high priestess. So the magician is like the start, something new.
Yeah.
Then it goes into the high priestess, which is the feminine. She's more of the magician's like, wow, here I am. She's like, whoa, slow down. And she's receiving. So she's very about knowledge and receiving knowledge.
That's Yael.
And then you go into number 3, which is the empress, the queen. The queen's about creating culture, creating society, creating community, bringing people together, really kind of listening and receptive, still that feminine archetype. And then it goes into number 4, which is the emperor, which is the king, that the king's role is to create boundaries around his queen's culture. So the feminine creates the culture, the emperor, the masculine,
Protects
creates
the culture.
Protects, puts the boundaries, the fortress around the walls and maintains the kingdom. And then it goes into the priest, number 5, which the priest is the more, now we need some spiritual elements into this. So this priest is channeling God and bringing in that more sacred environment in there. And then you have number 6, which you have here, the lovers. And the lovers is going into the dichotomy of love and what is love. And, you know, a lot of people are like, lovers, ooh, menage a trois.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw it.
When you see it, but what it represents, it's the prince in the middle. And then here you have the princess, and this is the queen. So it represents the young, the new, the fresh. And this represents the old, the wise, the vintage. You know, and right here, if you look, they both have a hand on him trying to get the prince's attention.
And one is dark and one is light.
Yeah, one's dark, one's light. And the priest, or the prince here is like, what do I want? Do I want the young, the new, the beautiful? Or do I want the old, the wise, the sacred? Yeah. And it's like it can go into what's called the lover's dilemma, confusion. I don't know what I want, right? You have it up here, so it's a little bit easier for you. If you have the lovers down on the bottom, it's usually people that really go into a lot of, I don't know what I want. I'm confused.
Gotcha.
Because what they're doing is they're looking outside. Is this going to make me happy? Or is this going to make me happy? What they should be asking, not is this going to bring me, how can I bring happiness to myself? How can I be fulfilled within myself and not need to receive happiness from another?
From outside sources.
Yeah, so if you look at his hands, right? He's got his left hand over his heart. So left, feminine, receiving from his heart. Right hand over the dantian, giving to his life force. So it's his love giving to himself. And that's where the lover, it's full, his cup is full. He's now not looking for something to fill his cup. His cup is full.
So could we actually...
And that's when everybody's like, ooh, I want the lover, because they just feel he's full of love.
Could we say that the princess as well as the queen are almost distractions?
For sure. For sure. But ultimately in life, usually when you have choices, you have to make a choice.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's about not which one of these, like, oh, are you going to make me happy? Are you going to make me happy? It's like, no, I feel happy within myself. And then the choice becomes, or becomes clear of whatever you want. But whenever you're trying to see, is this going to make me more happy or is this going to make me more happy? You're looking for something else to fill you up.
You're bound to be wrong eventually.
Yeah, versus if you show up with the full cup, it's like, I don't need love from this. So what you want becomes clear.
Damn.
Because you're not needing it. That's what I want. I want that. I don't care if it loves me or not. You know, that's just what I want. Because you don't need the love. You're already fulfilled in yourself. So then it goes on to, but lovers is kind of the lover, soft. And then it has the chariot, which is the warrior, like go, 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 do. And then you have number 8, which is justice, which I don't think you have any justice. Then it goes into number 9, the hermit, which is going back into the cave, which this year, like I was telling you, is a hermit year. So a lot of people are going within their cave. They're going to the drawing board, like, well, how can I work on myself? What do I need to do? How can I change? The hermit is one of the most protected, covered archetypes. So it's like hiding. You know, so a lot of people are going to be hiding this year, hiding in their caves, hiding, working on themselves, not wanting to be seen by others.
That's kind of what I saw, and it hits home. Like, I just did a month in a van, traveling around. Even living in hostels, I've been reaching out to my friends, like, I'm not fitting in the same way that I normally would. Like, I'm almost like, we make a joke, we're wolves in sheep clothing, because we're walking amongst travelers, but our mindset is changing. So it's like, we say things that travelers are like, why are you saying that? It's like, let me just stop talking. So that hits home really hard.
And then number 9, you go into number 10, the Wheel of Fortune. Which fortune, people are like, fortune's money, right?
Yeah.
Break down the word fortune, fortune. It's about being in tune.
Alignment.
When you're in tune, it's fortune, because you're in alignment. Everything's synchronistic, the right thing, the right time, the right bet at the right time, the right sell at the right time.
Got you.
But when you're out of center, you see the wheel of fortune. If that center is out of center, what happens with the wheel?
It doesn't move anymore.
It's chaos. It's like nothing happens right. Everything is wrong. The whole system breaks down. It's out of tune. So there's no fortune. There's no fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune archetype is really about centering yourself. So always when I see a Wheel of Fortune, I'm like, you need to have a practice of meditation. You like have to. Otherwise, you're going to, if something spins you out of whack, you're going to feel like nothing's happening for me. Everything's wrong. And why is I keep tripping over the same step? Because you're not centered. But as soon as you get centered, now it's like, boom, right place, right time.
Easy.
And so when you have the archetype, you're going to have experienced both of these. When you're centered, synchronicities are amazing. When you're out of center, nothing right is happening.
Nothing works.
And this will be, because it's your ego, you're going to see yourself as that a lot. Either, well, you'll see yourself as someone that's really fortunate and you're killing it when you're in tune. And then as soon as you get out of tune, you feel like shit.
I'm a failure.
You feel like you're a failure. You feel like nothing in your life is working, right? So it's once you understand that attunement, you know when you feel out of attunement, what do you need to do?
Center yourself.
Get centered.
And so that's why you say you need to practice, because I honestly don't really know what to do to center myself.
Yeah.
I was kind of born in a household, a family where practice of mindfulness and spirituality and the secret and manifestation is like ingrained in me. So I don't have to cognitively do it.
Yeah.
Like some other people who, you know, it just is a part of my everyday nature. So I don't really know if I am centered, but things are working. So it's, I don't know what that.
Well, I always, I mean, the Qigong practice, the meditation that I teach, you focus on your Dantian. And like I said, the Dantian is the center between the left, the right, the top, the bottom, the masculine, feminine, heaven and earth meet within you right there at your Dantian. Also, at your Dantian, the first cell that was ever created within your body is the embryonic cell that was connected to your mother's umbilical cord. That first cell of you, your embryonic cell, is still within you right now. And it's literally like your master blueprint. I mean, I have Wheel of Fortune here, which is like, it's like my
deep in there.
It's deep ingrained. Like if I'm not centered, like I'm like chaos.
Okay.
So like that's why I meditate a lot, because it really helps me stay centered.
It's a must. You can't not.
Yeah. And then it goes on, just to continue with the archetypes, goes on to number 11, which is the force, which is coming out of the fortune is this internal power, literally like life force, like chi, prana. It's an internal power. If you look, it's the feminine holding open the mouth of a lion, which is a super strong animal that also represents the feminine. And if you see her face, she's calm. She's holding open the mouth of a lion, not with physical strength, but internal strength. And then it goes on to number 12, which is the hanged man, which after you go into that internal power, then it's surrendering to a higher power, which is not giving up, but you're giving your power from
submission.
You're connecting to that higher power and surrendering to that higher power. And then it goes through number 13, which is death, which, death represents transformation. If you look at the bottom, he's got the head of the king and the queen down here, which represents the old rules. So death represents transformation out of an old mindset.
Almost like anarchist.
Well, think about like if growing up, people are telling you this is right, this is wrong.
Yeah.
And then at some point in your life, you're like, I don't feel, it doesn't serve me anymore. So you transform death to the old logic, and then you create new logic, create new life, you transform. So it represents transformation. And especially in this position for you, it's like what you do in life is always changing, and also it's really about transformation. Like you need to connect with people on a level of transformation. And that's what you want, and that's what you like to bring to people.
And that's why my lifestyle kind of is about challenging
you're always changing and transforming
doctrine.
where you are, what you're doing. Yep. And then it goes into number 14, which is temperance, the angel who's soft, like she's just come back from death. It's like, okay, now I need to find balance. Now I need to find fluidity, temperance, like temper. It's like really be calm, really be gentle. Because usually a lot of times when you have the archetype here, you'll be the opposite.
I'm very bilateral. Like I say, it's either white or black. There is no in between. I like to make things simplified in that sense.
Right. So for you, it's about how do you soften? How do you flow more like water? You see here, she's filling up 2 vessels. How do you give from one and give to the other and share and find this balance in your life?
I think that's a part of you guys were asking about my brother. He's very like, I don't care. If I'm gay tomorrow, I don't care. If I wear a dress today, hey, I'm just having a good time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are you so free? And maybe that's what you and Dr. Isabel were talking about, which is I have this bilateral where things are serious and I want to have that carefreeness, which doesn't come natural to me.
Right. So it's this side. It's your mission to really, your transformation is about softening. Right? Finding that balance. It's not like just be soft and do nothing. No, it's balance. Like, how do you find that balance as you soften? And it's also, do you have, or have you had as a kid, especially like a strong temper? How was your temper as a kid?
I think I had a very controlled temper. Okay. I'm very controlled, and I'm really emotionally intelligent, I suppose.
Okay, good. And then going just to finish the loop, so 15 is the devil, which I was explaining earlier, is like willpower, like absolute power. And then it goes number 16, the Tower of God, striking devil down, breaking down the old structures, creating more harmonic with nature. And then it goes into 17, the star, which if in the archetype, she's on her knees, naked, by a river. She's humbled. She's just been struck down by God. So she's like,
whatever you want me to do.
Whatever you want me to do, I surrender. And then it goes into number 18, which is the moon, which represents the divine feminine. And then number 19, the sun, which represents the divine masculine. And then number 20, which is judgment, which is about putting yourself out there, about judgment. And then 21, the world, which is like the completion, the final stage. And then 22, which is the fool, which is the one that's going through the journey.
Gotcha.
Just to give you a full rundown of the archetypes. Okay, so we'll start here. In your blueprint, so imagine this is like binary code. This is your 1, this is your 0. Your 0 represents your body. Your body's broken down by the feminine on the inside, which is represented here by your mother, the tower. And then you have the external, the masculine, which is represented by the hermit, your father. And then you have your inner essence, which is you at your core, which is the hanged man. And then you have, these are more like your environment cards, the environments that pull you. So this will represent like a lot of the environment that you grew up in. And this is more of the environment that really pulls you into your higher aspect.
Gotcha.
And then here you have like, these two are like, imagine your life path. This is what you have to master now, like where you're coming from, and this is where you're going towards. And then here we have your ego, which is how you see yourself on your path.
Got you.
So your ego is not you. When people say kill your ego, It's like, well, then you have no perception of yourself.
A thing.
Yeah.
Self,
If
anything.
you look at them, they have no direction, no drive in life.
Like a schizophrenic person
yeah,
almost.
because they've now don't see, if you don't have an ego, you now don't see yourself on your path. Your ego is just like looking in a mirror when you get ready. It's like the lens in which you see yourself. It's not you, so you don't want to be like, oh, this is who I am with the ego, but it's learning to balance. Yeah, and you have two sides of the ego, which is a lot of people they'll have like, oh, I have, two personas. It's the shadow and the light. These two, how you see yourself are these main two ego archetypes. One will bring you up higher, so you seeing yourself more as the king, the emperor. You like that's you in your higher aspect of when you feel you're in your highest power, you see yourself as a king. You see yourself as someone that's in charge. You're taking care of your kingdom. You're a leader. That's how you see yourself.
Yeah.
And then you have on the shadow side, you see yourself as the Wheel of Fortune, which is like this bohemian kind of traveler. And then, like I said, when you feel you're not centered, chaos. And then when you're centered, bam, alignment.
Okay.
Right? And it's not like this is bad and this is good. No, this is just where it brings you down into the feminine, into the earth. This is what brings you up into heaven, right? And you're always going to be dancing between the light and the dark, between heaven and earth.
But staying up here is better, especially you can flip these cards to a positive.
I wouldn't say it's better. I mean, your shadows can become your greatest assets. Like when you actually transform these, like that's how you get up here.
Have you ever read the book Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene? There's a chapter that is to master the shadow self. That's a whole chapter about it, and how learning how to play with the shadow, learning how to play with masculinity and femininity is what can really make you a superstar.
100%. Because again, like we were talking earlier in the garden, like your fears, once your fears have no power over you, like there's nothing to fear. Once you actually face it, and like I don't want to turn away, and you face your fear, it has no power over you. It's gone. And it's the same with your shadow. Like if there's a shadow here, and I bring light to it, what happens? The shadow goes away. It's no longer
shadow anymore.
Yeah, when you bring light to the shadow, the shadow's gone. So yeah, so the shadow aspects are really kind of what you're here to focus on to then go up into these higher cards. So the Hanged Man at the core, this really represents you. On the shadow side, it's the victim mentality, the victim archetype. It's like kind of poor me. Why did this happen to me? Why did my mom do this? Or why did my dad do this? Why did I raise like this? Why did I? All these different things about you giving your power away. But the Hanged Man is upside down. And it's all about reminding you to flip your perspective. Because then you can say, when you say like, okay, why did mom did that to me? But then later in life, you realize, oh, thank God, because that set me up for this, this, and this. Yeah. But when you only see that when you flip your perspective.
It's almost optimism. It's the optimism card.
In a sense, yeah, which represents, like I said, Jesus and Buddha. Because as you go into the higher aspect, it's literally like the one that's of service. It's surrendering to God, and then the gold falls out. That's where the gold is when you surrender. And then it's like being of service. Helping people, taking care of people, being of service, however you feel God is channeled through you. What are you here to be of service of?
Quick question.
Yep.
So these are 12. My birthday is 12/16. Is it 12? So is everybody's birth month the center piece?
It'll be similar, yep.
Okay.
And then you'll always have these two the same. So you'll always have the light and the dark.
Of the same card.
Yeah. And kind of similar to in astrology, it would be like everybody born in, a March is pretty much an Aries.
Yeah.
There's a couple days that are not, but for the most part, yeah.
Got you. So that's why people are like Scorpios. You get that kind of like overall gist, because they're going to have those same two archetypes.
Exactly. And it's like the way I see like Sphinx code, human design, gene keys, astrology, numerology, they're like road maps to your life in different languages. Right? Some will be in Chinese, some will be in English, whichever one you understand the best. Yeah. But like when I've done all these different systems, I see the similarities in all these different systems once I get to understand them.
And you go, they're just trying to tell me the same thing, like religion.
But it's just finding one that relates to you, you know, that you can relate with. Okay, so that's you at the core. And it's really, again, being of service. Anytime you feel that you're going into that victim mentality, it's flipping the perspective. Why is this happening for me? Ask that question. So when you feel, why is this happening to me? Ask, why is this happening for me, not to me? And then when you flip your perspective, that's when you get the gold.
Got you. That's beautiful.
Okay. So now we'll go over here to mama. So mom's the tower. So mom's probably pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the tower. It's like the tower of God. It's like strong lightning power. And it's also like tearing down structure. So she's probably also in that mentality of like wanting to make change and transformations and things in the world.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's your mother, and that's the archetype she's playing for you. You know, like if I put your mom's cards out here, she might not even have a tower. But she's literally, your soul is asking her to play that archetype.
The tower.
Yeah. And if I do, like, I've done a lot of readings for siblings. And even though they have this exact same mom and dad, they'll have different archetypes for mom and dad. And they'll be like, holy shit, I see how mom was that for you, but she was this for me.
Yeah.
You know, like that's why and it's like, it makes things make sense. And again, it takes away that blame of, no, like it's actually my soul that's asking for you to be this so I can learn from this archetype.
That's very hard for people, I think, a lot of people to attach to is an idea that your soul had a choice in any of this.
Right. So the tower, again, breaking down structures, can also be intense. And so this is your mom, but this also represents your feminine because you learn from her archetypes, right? So you'll take on that intensity. So I imagine sometimes the relationships with you can also get very intense. And then sometimes in relationships, if it's not going well, there'll be like some sort of electric shock. Imagine just like a jolt, something crazy happens all of a sudden to the relationship where it needs to break down. If it's not in service, it's not for your highest good, the relationship.
Yeah.
If it's, you're like, no, I really want to, even though you know it's not good for you, at some point, something crazy will happen to end it.
To shut it down.
Yeah. Or you'll also can go into that intensity, you know?
What do you mean?
So like you become the lightning strike. You're like, no, this is not working for me anymore. Or like, I'm done, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's
Boundaries.
just like, and it's not like, oh, it's okay. It's like, boom, we're done. I'm out. Here's my stuff. We never need to talk again. You know, it's like a powerful breakdown of the structure. Does that make sense?
That makes all the sense in the world.
And so for these two, this one, like I said, is always going to be the same. These two archetypes will literally represent the healing for this archetype. Okay? So whenever you feel it's going into something's not working, I need to break down this structure, there's something in your life, and especially, again, these are relationships. So some sort of relationship, a friendship, partnership, business relationship is not working and you feel you need to break something, you need to change something, and you don't know what it is, it's going to the lovers, which was I was explaining earlier, not looking outside of yourself for love, for the knowledge, for the truth. Find it within yourself. And that's how you find that creation energy rather than this is a little bit destructive energy.
Yeah.
Where love is more of a creation energy. So it's about really centering yourself. Anytime you feel that kind of charge or tower or power that you just need to break something, go into that. Go into your center. Go into your self-love.
It's interesting. All of these kind of seem powerful or positive or uplifting, while a lot of these, like this one specifically, looks destructive.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Can you have a light side that has a lot of destruction in it?
For sure. Like I think I have tower here in my relationships, you know, which it's not as intense. It's more represent like this higher power of charge. Like I want to reach, like in my relationships, these really powerful relationships. You know what I mean? Those relationship itself is about changing structure.
Got you.
Versus here, like again, this is more the shadow side of the archetype. So it's like, I need to break something. Yeah. This is not working. It needs to change right now. You know, and then usually, so when you have that feeling of something needs to change, you either go into self-love and then you have the truth, or you go into the Wheel of Fortune, which is down here. It's like going out of control, just like you feel spun out. And it's like when you feel spun out, you don't know what's left, what's right. You're imagine spinning, trying to figure out where you are.
It's a whole lot.
Yeah, it feels, and this is internal. So nobody outside of you will see that. But you feel that internally, just feel like fucking spun out. You know, so on one side, it's like, again, you have 2 Wheel of Fortunes down here. So meditation for sure is going to help. And then also it's like this kind of, what I said is your mom got a little bit of bohemian vibes?
Oh yeah, she lives in Zanzibar.
Because this is the feminine. This is the Wheel of Fortune is also like the bohemian archetype. It's like, just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Everything's good. You know, it is that kind of traveler. It is the, Hey, Leo. It is the traveler. It's someone that they feel, because when they feel in tune, they're like, everything's good. Life is good. I don't need to like force anything. So that's why it's bohemian, because it's like very go with the flow, very relaxed.
I'm very much
chilled.
like that.
Yeah, for sure. And again, this will represent God as well. So like there's an aspect where spirituality is important for you in your relationships. If you feel a relationship doesn't have that ability to go connect with God or some sort of spiritual belief that you're connected with, it doesn't feel in alignment.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So that's how the feminine will work. And again, this represents your mom, but for you, how it really shows up will be in your relationships.
Got you.
And as you go up higher, as you find that self-love in your relationship, and you don't look, I need you to love me. No, it's like, I love myself. Like, you're just a nice attribute to my love for myself. You know what I mean? Then you go into these really beautiful, the moon represents the divine feminine, which is like esoteric knowledge, the unknown. The masculine represents the known, like nurturing, giving. The moon is like receiving. It's like wisdom. It's lunacy. It's some people think it's crazy. Like that's where you thrive in relationships. I think Izzy also has that in that position.
What's your thoughts on the lover and hypersexuality? Because like searching for, I guess, partners, is you attempting to find some form of solace or self-love, but really you're still searching outside.
Yeah, it depends. Like, so if you're looking for a partner to make you feel complete, you're looking for the wrong thing, because nobody can make you feel complete other than you. And then once you feel complete within yourself, that's when you become so magnetic that you will attract whatever partner you want to manifest.
That's how I feel when I'm traveling.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So you're not looking for someone to fill your cup. Your cup is already full.
Yeah.
And then when your cup is full, people feel it. It's a magnetic quality. And that's why the lovers is like, everybody wants to feel the lovers, because they're so in love with themselves that they don't need love from anyone else. And everybody else wants that. They're like, oh, I want some of that.
That's where you get these two from. Leave me alone, I gotta work.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. And I could see it plain as day.
And I have lovers up here, so it's like, for me, how it shows up is like seeing myself as self-love. Like for Qigong, for me, that is how I nurture myself, connect to myself, really give myself that self-love. So that's the feminine line. And so now we'll step over here to...
Is the Chariot not in the feminine line?
No, this will go into environments, which I'll do feminine, ladies first, and then we'll go into the masculine, and then we'll go into the environments.
Cool.
So dad, we have the hermit archetype, or the masculine is the hermit, which on one side will represent like the old wise sage.
Yeah.
Right? The other side, the more shadow side, it's someone that's hiding from the world. They're kind of like, they don't want people to see them. It's really hard to get close to a hermit.
Interesting.
Like you may feel the love, but you'll always feel like there's something in between you. There's like this thick cloak in between you. It's hard to get close to this person because they're always on their own mission. They're always looking for something. Right? Sometimes this can go into like, because when you hear the person's like holding this light, like looking, It can go into chasing, like looking for the light. So drugs, alcohol, any kind of addictions, but any behavior that you feel is drawing you. So sometimes they can get lost in that kind of addictive thing where you feel like there's a tool that's allowing you to seek knowledge.
Okay.
And then you can get addicted to that tool.
Like traveling.
Could be traveling. For a lot of people, it's usually like drugs or alcohol, something that they feel makes them feel better.
Yeah.
But in reality, it disconnects them usually a little bit more.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Traveling and sex, I think those are the two.
Your two
I think those
pieces?
are my two.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's just looking at the things that you feel you're chasing, that the chasing is actually distracting you from your path.
Yeah. I don't think it's travel then. I think travel is the path. I guess that's a tricky one.
I mean, with all these Wheel of Fortunes and chariots, like you're going to be on the move. For sure.
Yeah.
Chariots like to move.
And so do these kind of like bounce against each other?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, when you see the same, so right here, and we'll get into this in the ego after we go through the body. When you see the same archetype, so you have Wheel of Fortune here and Wheel of Fortune here. So because this is so this is the feminine, what is it called? Trait. I think it's the feminine trait, where here is the feminine behavior.
Ooh, okay.
So this goes more into the behavioral aspect, which is what I was saying, like the bohemian, someone that you feel spun out whenever you feel out of control or out of power. You don't have power, you don't have control, and it can spin you out like, I don't know what's what. And when you have these two the same, there's going to be a relationship. So how you see yourself is going to be more related to your mother, because this is your mother's side. So your ego, and especially your shadow ego, this is the ego that you put on based on how you were raised by the masculine and feminine. They say you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that for your entire childhood. And then you become to believe that. Like, I am this and I am that. Whatever that this and that was that they say you are. Right? If they say you're smart, if they say you're strong, if they say you're slow, whatever they say. Like and they repeat it so many times, especially as a kid under the age of 7, it's like, we just program, and just puts it right in.
Yeah.
As we age, it's much harder to implant a program, right? But when you're a child, it's like you're a sponge.
Yeah.
You're just a sponge soaking it up. But there is a relationship between your mother and how you see yourself, for sure. Does that resonate?
Oh, that's crazy. Like even in connection with like when I was telling my brother, they say we are at our worst when we're both together. Since I'm the younger brother, I kind of lose that what is it? An autonomy, like the self-decision. When I'm out traveling around the world, I am emperor. I make all the decisions. But when you go back to family, now it's like you're the youngest, you're the baby. You listen to everybody. It's like, oh, I don't know how to make decisions for myself anymore. And so when you say, yeah, this just kind of resonated with me, because that's when I feel my worst.
When you say that, I don't know how to make decisions, that really goes into this, which is like, because you don't know what's left and what's right and what's wrong. It's like you usually probably stop breathing very well. And then as soon as you relax, center, start breathing, boom, oxygen to the brain. You can now think clearly again.
Yeah.
But it's usually when we tighten up, the blood starts to constrict. We don't get blood flow to the brain, so then we can't think properly. And as soon as you start to regulate your breathing, you calm down, you relax, you center, boom, you have blood flow back to the brain.
That's amazing.
So going in with dad, so it's just be mindful. So this is, I don't know if that's how dad showed up with you, it was hard to get close to him. But he was this kind of old, wise type person, but you'll take on that persona of the hermit. So sometimes in life as well, like you'll probably have that aspect when things outside in the world feel like doesn't feel good or you don't resonate, you're just like, fuck, I'm just gonna go in my cave.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, the hermit's like, I'm too old for this shit. You know,
I'll
it's
go in
like
my room.
it wants to go in the cave. So it's just be mindful when you're running away from a situation type thing.
That was South Africa.
Yeah.
I had my own private room, and I was like, I don't feel like dealing with people.
Yeah.
I'm closing my door.
Yeah. Hey, Leo, will you come? Yeah, so it's just be mindful when you feel like, again, this trait will become your master power. Like once you master your shadows, they become your super strength, right? Which then it goes into the wise sage that you consciously deciding, no, I'm going into here because I need to go into myself.
Yeah.
You know, I need to go learn. I need to go get educated or whatever you're going into the cave for. And then like usually probably when you go into the cave, it comes into this world aspect, which on one side is where's your dad from? Did he travel a lot?
Not so much.
Okay. So usually sometimes with the world, usually when it's here, you'll see someone that's a little bit more international. They've traveled the world. They've done the things. You know, the world, like I said earlier, it's the end of the fool's journey. So it's the one, they have the potion, they have the knowledge, and she has all these attributes, but she has so much, she has it all. She almost feels constrained or weighted down by it. Do you know what I mean? She feels like she needs to be perfect.
Okay.
Usually this goes into the role model. When it's up here, it's like you can easily step into the role model. When it's down here, you feel a lot of pressure about being the role model.
That's like when I say I want to have kids and I want to influence the next generation, because it's like, if I don't, I had all this information, all these opportunities and knowledge, and if I just die with it, then it was a waste of giving it to me. So you have to do something with it.
You need to go hide away because you're not being a good role model. It's like, no, this is when death, it's like, there'll be some things that you'll need to transform within your own psyche. Like if you say, and I like to use crazy examples just to make it make sense. If I wear blue pants, I'm not a good person. You know, like, and then you wear blue pants and you're like, oh, I feel like I'm not being a good role model. But in reality, what you need to do is go into death, because death is the healing, kill that old idea of, oh, I wear blue pants and I'm bad. No, I wear blue pants if I want to wear blue pants.
Yeah.
It's you're breaking down with death, transforming old rules and old ways of thinking so that you can find joy within your life. Because death, if you see how colorful it is compared to these other ones, it's one of the most joy. If you look down here, he's got a heart at his sacrum. It's really about finding the love and the joy in life, and it's about killing what no longer serves you. What's stopping you from feeling your joy?
I got that.
You know what I mean?
Like when I was telling you about the heaven and how last night I was reading that book and it was talking about hell. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so pulled down. And then I was like, wait, flip it to how actually life is heaven, because it continually changes. And then it changed everything. I was like, this is brilliant.
Well, that just shows you how when you change your perspective, everything can change.
Your mentality is your reality.
And then breaking down those old structures. And again, now we're getting, and this is relationships on the feminine, on the masculine, this is career. So you'll bring that into your career of transforming. So you'll want to, if someone tells you like, all right, hey, I want you, your job is going to be bring this to here, and the way to do it is go in a straight line. And then you're like, you do that a couple of times, you're like, no, actually I can go like this and I'll get there quicker.
Yeah.
And more efficiently, and I'll make more money.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, okay.
Sounds good.
So it's just a way of you changing the structure, breaking down old ways and really bringing joy or bringing life, bringing transformation to an environment or to your career.
Interesting.
So like with Indigo, for instance, you're helping people transform, literally.
Yeah.
You know, they're coming in sick and you're helping them get on a path of getting healthy. So, which is transformation. And with your podcast is also about health, right?
Full, yeah.
So again, transformation. You're helping people in one state get into another state. So that's totally aligned with your career path is how can I help people transform? And a lot of that, you'll be bringing in the things that you're learning here and sharing that with the world. So sharing like, okay, what do you not need to hide from? What are the things that are holding you back to where you think I'm not being a good role model, but that's a concept. Like, no, if this is something that you're aligned with, I should wear blue pants. Honor that and wear the blue pants.
Wear them damn
Wear
pants.
them blue pants. And then you go into the chariot, which is like, here I am, the warrior, the tip of the spear that's leading the charge and creating change. This also represents like a CEO type character. It's a leader. It's a warrior. Someone that's like, I'm going to fight the battle. It's like, and Izzy's also got a lot of chariot energy and I think she also has it up here. I think you guys got a lot of cards in common.
Pikachu hat.
I think world, this, and these three are all the exact same. Yeah, interesting. So you probably guys have a good relationship. You're learning a lot from each other, and they're all higher aspects, so they're not
easy
like,
to come out.
oh, this is hard work. You know, it's like, no, this is fun. And so the chariot is the warrior archetype. It's the one that's after number 6. So after you've realized self-love, boom, arms wide open, here I am, and taking charge. It's the only one that's not on the ground. The feet are not touching the ground, in a sense, of the archetype. And because he's on the chariot, it's like constantly on the move, on the go. So usually people, if you have chariot anywhere over here, it's going to be moving. And like on a similar level, like what is your chariot? And for usually these people, their chariot is important. And it could be as simple as your shoes, because your shoes can be your chariot nowadays, or your cars, how you get around from place to place. It'll feel more important to you, because it's literally like the symbology of your chariot.
Like my electric skateboard.
Yeah, whatever your chariot is, you feel proud to be on your chariot. Yeah. It's carrying you on your path.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
But in here, usually this is where I'll tell people, like, this is where your career is going, where you feel really aligned within a career. And so for you, it's something around transformation, helping people transform, breaking down, getting rid of old ways, bringing them and finding them joy through the transformations, to say it's health. And then here, it's about leading people as well. So you're like, charge, hey, this way, guys, we're going this way.
Yeah.
So you're also leading and breaking down and creating new ways of going that way.
That's funny.
You're the trailblazer, let's say.
When I was first really trying to conceptualize my wellness retreat, it was all based around masculinity and moving away from the warrior archetype to more of the magician archetype. Because I was saying, in the world that we live, if everybody's the warrior, we're going to destroy ourselves. Because the warrior is, in my thought process, is domination, control, and conquering. But the magician is all about collaboration, rituals, and finding the win-win in between. Because if we can create that type of relationship amongst, men, women, everybody, just man, then we can actually survive. And so I wanted my retreat to be based around shifting men from I have to be the warrior, the Andrew Tate mindset, to more of a magician. Yeah.
But I also think there's like a holy warrior. You know what I mean? There's different personas of the warrior. There's the bad warrior. Like if you have the chariot down here, it's usually more of the bad chariot warrior guy. Up here, it's more like the holy warrior, let's say. It's more of you don't need to fight. You're leading people in a sense.
Got you.
There's a beautiful book. I think I have it here. King, Warrior, Magician, Lover.
You have archetype book here?
Yeah. Do you know that book?
I wanted to find them.
Do you know the book I'm talking about?
I don't know the exact book.
It's called King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, and it's a men's book about the archetypes, and those are the main 4 archetypes of the man, and it has a beautiful persona of the warrior.
I'm reading that.
Yeah, I would say check that out. Yeah, so that's the masculine path. That's your career. That's your external. That's what you're here to do in the world. Does that make sense?
Fully.
Cool. And so here, these are environment cards. So this is the environment, a lot of time, like what you were raised around. So like, again, emperor. So there's something to do with your evolved ego, how you see yourself, and in a relationship to how the environment that you grew up in, right? And it could be physically, it could be mentally, it could be psychologically. A lot of times, because these are light and dark, it'll probably be the opposite. So if like you grew up where you had no power, everybody else was the king around you, your brother, for instance, from what I'm understanding, he was the one in charge and you were following his lead. You were kind of in the shadows there. Where now when you see yourself, it's the opposite. You're actually the one in charge. You're the one in lead.
Yeah.
Right? But it's the same archetype, but a different spectrum of the archetype.
Huh, okay, got you.
Okay? A bad emperor is one that's leading people the wrong direction, caring about himself, not taking care of his kingdom. You know, a king has to take care of everybody in the kingdom. If anybody in the kingdom is suffering, the king is the one that's there to make the change.
I used to find that I would rather walk alone than to walk behind somebody. When I was a kid, I remember cognitively, when I was like 8th grade, I remember I would look at people walk like as friends, and you always had the person in the front, then you had the people in the middle, then the person in the behind who was just trying to keep up. And I just thought, I'd rather walk by myself than to be in the behind trying to keep up with them. I'm not doing that. So that's interesting, the level of dominance that I kind of want to have over my environment.
Yep. And so that would have been the environment that you grew up around. So I'm from what I hear so far, it's like something to do with maybe your brother or something to do with that power to be the emperor. Yeah. What does it feel like to be the one in charge? So you've probably seen but you were learning how to be a good king. And now that's how you see yourself and you personify yourself as being that good king. And when you see yourself in your highest ego, it's the good king. It's the good emperor.
So what do you do if like, for instance, when you go home, you know, they say like a king isn't a king in his own home. You can't really, how do you overcome?
A king what?
A king is not treated like a king in his own home, in his own kingdom. You know, it's like.
Is he not, or is he? What do you mean?
It like they would say, let's say your father is a guru and everybody goes, oh, you're so brilliant, guru, we love you.
Yeah.
But then when you see your father, you're like,
hold me, please.
Yeah, like stop it, Dad.
Yeah.
So it's like kings aren't treated like kings in their own home. If you go back to your family, you were the younger brother. When you're in your, living your best life, you're Greg. But then when you go home, it's like, oh, that's little Greg.
Yeah.
So how do you overcome that like family dynamic, especially when everybody sees you in a certain way? How do you overcome that to be like, this is how I really am, everybody?
I feel for me, it started shifting when I felt I don't need to prove myself. And I lead through action, not by telling people what I think. So like when I first started on my consciousness journey and health and like eating good quality food and drinking spring water, I would go home with my family and be like, I would see like Cheerios in the cabinet. I'm like, oh, you're poisoning my niece and nephew. You know, why are you guys drinking tap water? Like, oh, you got, like, I'm that's not a good king. I'm trying to tell everybody, you need to do this, you need to do that.
You got to start investing.
Yeah, and everybody was like, who the fuck? You're the little guy. Like, who the fuck? We raised you. Like, get out of here. Nobody really made any changes. A year later, when I went home, I'm going to go grocery shopping. I'm going to get high quality food. I'm going to go to the spring and go collect spring water. I'm leading now by example rather than just telling people what they need to do. And then people come and then I cook food. Okay, if I want people to eat healthy, I'm going to cook the food. So I'm leading by example. What happened 6 months later when I went back home? They were going to get their own spring water. There was healthy food in the cabinets because then I was leading like a good king as leading by example. And then they're interested. I'm not trying to shove it down their throats. Hey, look at me. This is what's right and what's wrong. No, I'm just being it. And just like the lovers, whenever you feel fulfilled within yourself, it's magnetic. People are they're drawn to it. They're like, man, what are you doing? What have you been up to? Like, your energy is like, it feels good. Like they want to learn from you.
Wow.
You see what I mean? So that's for me is when, like within my own family dynamic, when it really shifted from me being like, oh, the little kid of the family, of people really respecting what I'm doing and my life choices and asking questions, being inquisitive about what I'm doing rather than just be like, oh, you're just trying to shove this down our throats. Like, who do you think you are? Now, because I'm leading by example, like a good king, they're like, wow, like, I want to know more about this. Tell me.
Yeah.
How'd you
get to this point?
Yeah, they want to learn from that. So rather than you trying to shove it down their throats, they're asking you for it. They're asking you for that knowledge. They're asking you for that wisdom.
Wow.
And then when we go up, so that's the emperor environment would be like you're drawn to earth. So anytime you feel like, I'm stuck, I got to drive, you're going to be drawn into what is a good king? How do I become a good king?
What is a good king? Wow.
You know,
That's a hell
you
of a
got to
name.
read this book, King, Warrior, Magician, Lover.
What is a good king?
You got a couple kings, you got a couple chariots, which are the warrior. You got the lovers. You don't got the magician, but you got the energy there. So I would say definitely read that book.
Okay.
And then your higher environments, which is chariots. Usually when I see chariot up here, it's people that are really drawn towards higher development, being like a charge. A lot of times they want to be a freaking super entrepreneur. They want to really lead the charge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Business people, they want to make money. They want to create businesses. They want to create structures. They want to move. They want to go. They want to have nice things. You know, if you look here at the card, like, I mean, he's got some freaking regalia. I mean, look at him. He's in like a piece of cloth. He's in like a little rag. She's got like a little bit of a rag. He's in full on like regalia.
Guards.
So it's usually these people are very like drawn to fashion even, like how they look and regalia and cars and travel and lifestyle. This is the chariot. That's that part of the chariot. And like I said, Izzy has that there. So I know that archetype well in that position. Okay. So now we're going to come over here to ego. And so your ego is not you, but it's how you see yourself on your path. Okay. And so here, this is your conditioned ego. So this is the ego predominantly that you'll put on as a child based on what people around you told you you were. You know, through your life, people are like, oh, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. And then you take on the belief, oh, I'm this and that, I'm this and that. Everybody's telling me, so you believe it. You know? And so with this archetype, again, it is that kind of bohemian, like, oh, just go with the flow. Like everything is kind of easy. You can be in the flow. But again, if you feel out of flow, it's going to feel like chaos. And you're like, where's the flow? I don't see the flow right now. You know, I don't know where it is. What's up, what's down? It's chaos. And then whenever you're in tunement in fortune, boom, synchronicities. Everything's happening in the right place, the right time, absolute magic. So like absolutely the biggest trick here is centering yourself. Anytime you feel out of center or spun out, things are not going the way you want them to go or imagine them to go, well, one's going to be flip perspective, but also like center yourself. Get yourself centered and probably then flip your perspective. But you have to see yourself as centered. Anytime you feel yourself out of centered, how can you be a good king that's not centered? It's not. A king doesn't thrive if his mind is in chaos or if he sees himself. Because again, this is not you, but this is how you see yourself. Right? And then eventually the whole goal is to see yourself as a balance of both, which is a king and fortune.
Which fall in line really well. And if you don't have fortune, then you probably won't be a king either.
Right. So that, again, that's going to feel spun out. So it's like you'll play between these two. So see yourself as a good king. You know what I mean? And then you're in charge, you're in control. And then whenever that feels, you're like, oh, I need to go onto a travel. I need to go onto a move. I need to move something stuck. I need to move. So you'll play with seeing yourself between these two. And then as you go up to the emperor, again, I kind of talked about it earlier. It's like, what does a good king look like to you? Like, what are the rules? How does the king hold himself? How does he stand? What does his body look like? Usually for emperor, where's your other emperor? Down here. This is not necessarily you. This is your environment. It's going to have a little effect on you for sure if you have king here. But even having it here, your physical appearance, your body, because again, this represents the structure around your body usually is important for you. So if you don't feel like you're taking care of your body, you're not going to feel like a good king. So usually it's physical, right? The empress is like feminine, it's etherical, it's feminine, it's everywhere. The masculine is like, here's the walls, it's very physical.
Yeah.
So it also represents your physical body.
So like doing jujitsu and boxing and
Anything.
just now you can protect yourself.
Yeah, whatever you can do to feel like
military.
you're strong in your body. And for different people, that's different. That means different things. You know, but whatever, define what that is for you to feel strong within your body.
Like I felt the best when you're at going to gym daily,
Yeah.
when you're playing sports. Like that's when I'm always like when I'm traveling, I'm like, damn, I really miss having that routine of gym or jujitsu or something. So I can fully see it.
Yeah. So you'll need to see yourself as honoring your body, honoring your vessel, your vehicle. All right, now we're going to go into the soul mission cards. So this is more of the transformation cards. A lot of times, anytime you feel stuck in any of these, you feel like, I can't move, it's called your transformation, because usually this card is the one that helps you
Overcome it.
transform. It helps you unlock. And it's temperance. So it's like, a lot of times, probably soften up a little bit. Like you may feel too rigid, like you were feeling, oh, it's got to be like this or it's got to be like that. But find the flow, find the balance. If you feel like it's too rigid, find that balance within it.
Yeah.
Right? She's got these two vessels here, and she's giving from one to the other. So it represents balance, and it's kind of like double energy in a sense, because you have two of the things, but it's a way of bringing balance. So if you're traveling and exercise, say these are two things, how do you balance these two?
Yeah.
You know, you're constantly finding this balance, and it's temperate. So it's
Going
not
for a hike.
Yeah, when you're tempering things, it's like you're gradually doing it. You don't need to like, all right, I need to work or travel or exercise or travel. I can't do both.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you can, you know, so it's temperate. So start slowly, start calmly, start relaxed. Okay, I'm going to go tomorrow. Let's go for a half an hour walk, or tomorrow let's do some Qigong, or just do something. I'm just going to train for 5 minutes. I'm just going to do as many push-ups as I can do in 5 minutes. You know, whatever that is, but just be soft and start slow, start small. A lot of times people think the angel is like, oh, I just got to be weak and a pusher. No, it's like that's actually becomes a strength when you can find that balance, because then you feel empowered, because now I can travel and I can exercise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to get rid of that mentality, one or the other. No, one feeds the other. You're giving from one thing to another thing. Does that make sense?
It does. Commitment. That's something that I've found that it makes me queasy. And
Commitment?
Yeah, commitment, you know, because it has a form of rigidity. You know, it's like, oh, where if you start on this, you got to continue with it. And it's like, oh, well, maybe I don't like it anymore. Well, then never going to become good. So I was like, shit, I guess I gotta lock in on something, or else nothing will ever come to fruition. What's your advice on balancing, you know, the traveler, the vagabond associated with the emperor who builds a kingdom? Because the vagabond's walking around forever, he never can stop long enough to build a moat.
Yep.
But that moat also will strangle the vagabond.
Yep. And I think it's also like here, so like commitment to the tower is quite scary, because it feels like you're giving your power away.
Yeah.
Right?
The
And
power
then the
is-
vagabond is not going to feel like they're free, right? Free to flow in every direction it wants to flow. It's going to feel, if it's committed, it's going to be strapped down. It's tied down. I can't move freely anymore. Right? But breaking the rules. Like, this is about transforming the rules. These rules of what's right and what's wrong can be changed. And when you go into your own self-love, especially within relationships, the commitment, you're like, yeah, okay. Today I'm committed. Tomorrow, if I'm committed, I don't know. You know?
You gotta love me for me.
Yeah, it's like this is where I'm at. And when you show up with that full love with yourself, you're not worried about something working out or not working out. Especially here in this Hanged Man, you can immediately go into that victim where it's like, okay, if someone wants to commit, you're like, oh, then I'm going to be, I'm going to be
Alone.
their bitch or something like that. I'm the victim now. Poor me. Like now I'm stuck in this commitment.
Yeah.
Whatever the commitment is, versus flipping their perspective. Like, hey, what is this commitment going to do for me?
It's going to teach me how to develop or.
And commitments are here for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And you only know when it finishes.
That was good.
You know?
That was good.
and that's the joy of life. You don't need to know everything. Like okay, this thing with Gucci that just happened with us, like this cat was like the most amazing cat either one of us have ever had. Like just brought so much joy to this house. And everybody that came here all summer was like, "Oh my God, I love Gucci.
We love this cat."
She just brought so much love and joy to everyone. Like we're hoping she's gonna last a lifetime. She was only here for 5 months.
Yeah.
And she's gone now. So it's like, but was that bad? No, I loved every minute of that. Now I really I'm so glad.
The reverence of it all.
She showed me so much love that I never thought I could experience from a fancy. So again, I'm going to go back to that one point. Faith or fear, choose one. You can't have both. When you have faith, there is no fear. When you're in fear, it's only because you don't have faith. So when it goes into that commitment, fear or faith. If you're in fear, it's because you don't have faith in the outcome of your decision.
You don't believe.
You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe you're going to make the right choice.
And you outsource your power to
somebody else. Tell me what I need to do. Versus what's here. What is here? Find your truth inside yourself. Don't look for it outside, because if you look for it outside, it's going to be confusing.
Like ChatGPT.
Like ChatGPT, sure. But it's really looking within yourself to find your truth, and that's going to be the new structures that you're building. You're breaking these old structures and relationships to build these new ones, but the new ones come when you have a full cup within yourself. When you don't have anything missing. You're perfect as you are, right? And we're all perfectly imperfect. Like, sure, we can always improve, but we have to be solid within ourselves right now. We can't. It's really hard to change something we don't accept.
It's really hard to change something we don't accept because it's kind of like hidden in the shadows.
Right.
Till you bring it up, you can't use it.
Right. So in Qigong, when people have like injuries in the body, I'm like, you have to go into it. Because a lot of times, say it's in the elbow, they'll go through, oh, my elbow hurts, I'm going to stop. No, I was like, you need to go into that pain. Because you're creating that relationship, and a lot of times, like within pain within the body, it's an emotional trigger that's locked within the fascia. Could have been something that happened in their life at some point. I don't even care the story, but I just want you to go through it, and then you stay not forcing, but stay centered, listening, be present with your body, and then you'll have a moment of just unlocks, and it's absolute clarity. But you have to be able to go into that unknown. And I always say it's like, a pain, a discomfort in the body. It's like a mailman knocking at the door. And you're like, fuck, who's knocking at the door? Who is that? What do they want? Maybe it's somebody who wants to kill me.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is.
I'm not opening
Your mind
the door.
is like all of these stories. Oh, yeah, I'm scared to see who it is. And then you go to the door, open the door, and it's a mailman that hands you a message that says, have a good day. And then he walks away and leaves. The knocking's done. But if you don't answer the knock, it's just always there. Knocking.
Louder and louder.
Hey, come on. It's like, no, go see what the knock is. And it's usually a fear of it. Oh, I'm scared. I don't want to feel what can go wrong, or I don't want to know what's going to happen. But like, no, I have faith it's going to be okay, and I'm going to go answer that door.
Like when we were talking about psychedelics.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, hell no, I'm not getting back into that ballpark again. Yeah. And you're like, well, then it's going to continue to be a fear of yours, which has power over you.
Sure. And I'm not saying you have to go into psychedelics. I'm just saying anytime we have a fear of something, they are going to have power over us. And pretty much every culture in the world had psychedelics as a phone line to God. Right? Every culture on the planet had a psychedelic plant that they would take to commune with God. And then the church came in and said, no, that's the witch's work. That's the devil. You cannot talk to God. That's the devil's work. If you want to talk to God, talk to me. I'll talk to God for you.
And pay the tithes.
And you're like, I can't talk to God myself? No, that's the devil's work. Wait, so I talk to you and you talk to God for me? You know what I mean? And so they made plants and these types of things very witchy, right? When every indigenous culture in the world had plants.
Yeah.
You know, in Iboga, they had, or in Africa, different places, they had a lot of Iboga, different plants. South America, it was a lot of like ayahuasca, wachuma. In Australia, yeah, in Bufo, Australia was the acacia tree, which is similar to the one that was in the burning bush in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
When Moses saw God was right after the burning bush, which was an acacia tree that excretes DMT. He inhaled the smoke from the tree, had a vision, and talked to God.
Okay, I'm here. All right.
And it was through these things that's how people commune with God. I'm not saying it's the only way by far, but I'm just saying it was a tool that countless indigenous tribes all over the world would use to talk to God. Let's see, where were we? All right.
So we did the temperance.
Now your soul mission, the force. So the force, again, it's feminine in its essence, but it's about conquering the feminine. Conquering the lion represents the internal, the divine feminine is the lion, the divine masculine is the eagle.
Okay.
So also when you see eagle and lion in flags and pictures, that's the difference between the masculine and the feminine. Just like in Portuguese, every country will be masculine or feminine. Do you know that?
In Portuguese, really?
Yeah. So I think I can't remember what's what, but every single country is either masculine or feminine.
How do they be?
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, who decides this?
Yeah.
You know? But there's that relationship between the masculine and feminine, and the force is really becoming a master of the feminine, of the internal strength, the internal power. So it's not only the physical strength
And with that, guys, hey, never know what you're going to get when it comes to the 100 Tale podcast.
And just remember, everything is with you for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Trust the process. Faith or fear, you can't have both.
I love
Pleasure,
this.
brother.
I love this one. I love this one. Adios, guys.
See you later, guys.